Hello.
Melvis, hello. How are
Hey,
you,
how
man?
are you, bud?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Right.
Ha
Cool.
ha ha ha.
Wow.
Ha ha ha. It's blues night.
Blues night.
It's
I'm
blues
ready.
night. We've got blues
I
legend.
love blues.
Oh, you're gonna love this episode then.
All right.
Mike Milligan's calling in and joining us.
Oh.
Mike, how are you?
I'm great. How's it going, fellas?
It's good. Oh, it's good. Mike Milligan from Mike Milligan and Steam Shovel.
Yep.
And let me get a thing up here. So how are you? How you doing physically?
Not too bad. I have been fighting a pinched nerve in my shoulder,
Right.
my arm for the past several months, and I've had to cancel some performances and just kind of take it easy, which is fine with me. I guess I haven't been able to really relax in a long time, where I have absolutely nothing pressing that I have to get done. So it's getting better. I've performed at the Cincinnati Reds Stadium the last weekend or the weekend before, and that went okay.
Awesome.
Wow.
That was okay.
Hi, that's got to be a thrill.
Oh yeah. And you
yeah.
deserve a break once in a while, man.
Yeah. Okay. I just don't want to get too used to it. I'm kind of like getting kind of used to the break.
Okay, we've got your Facebook up at the moment.
Okay.
Mike Milligan and Steam Shovel. Is it still the same lineup it's been, Mike?
Yes, same guys have been with me for, let's see, 22, 23 years. The band's been together for 32, and bass player's my little brother. He's been with me since 2000, so 25 for him. Drummer's been with us since 03, so 22 for him.
Wow. And the band's been together since
93.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I started Steam Shovel in 93.
That's a long time, dude.
Yeah. I
Oh,
saw you guys open up for Joe Bonamassa at the patio.
Oh man, that's been a while back.
Yeah, but boy,
that's at least 20 years back.
Oh yeah.
I think so. Yeah, it's definitely.
It was 2004 or 5 maybe.
Yeah, you're right. That probably was about that time. Maybe even 03.
Yeah, my brother said he said he knew who the drummer was because they worked at Chrysler together in Newcastle.
Oh, at that particular show, the Joe Bonamassa show at the patio, was Derek Felix, and he's from Newcastle.
Yeah, we stood right up there in the front at the patio and watched you guys, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was a good show. That was fun.
We've opened for him several times over the years.
Yeah.
What's he like? Is he a good dude?
I don't know him well enough to answer that.
Okay. All right.
I didn't really.
Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't get to really talk to him. I didn't really get to talk to him.
Okay.
Just can't answer it.
All right. Well, let's start it. Let's start back 30 some years ago. How did Mike Milligan and Steam Shovel come together?
Well, gosh, I had been in a bunch of cover bands. Early '90s. I was in grunge rock kind of cover all state, and I was, just playing guitar with these guys. I was the one interjecting the Hendrix, the Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was injecting the any kind of soulful songs I could in this kind of grunge rock cover band. And those guys all graduated, and the band broke up. And I thought, well, it's time to put together a band based on what I want to do. And I've done that before. A band in high school that was, a couple bands in high school that were very similar. I was the band leader. So I decided to do this, and I actually brought in the saxophone player that played in my high school band. He was going to Ball State as well, and he played saxophone in the band. And he and I talked about the band name, and I was kind of like, I don't know if I want my name out front like that. And he said, hey, I'm not going to be in your band for very long or forever, and who knows who's going to. But if you're going to stick with this format and stick with what you're doing, you might as well put your name out front. so that it's consistent. People know when they see your name, they know what they're going to get. Doesn't matter who's playing saxophone or who's playing tambourine or what. I mean, it's going to be consistent. And I don't want to say it doesn't matter who's playing drums or bass, because it certainly does. But at the same time, you're going to get the songs that I write, and the guys that are in the band, because we get along so well, we mesh well, and we create the sound that I like to hear. Hopefully that makes sense.
It does make sense. And
that's
and you
what
talk
it's
about,
all about.
yeah, and you talk about how important it is, the bass and drums. Mel's a drummer, I'm a bass player.
Yeah.
We have both we've both
Yeah.
been in 3-piece things, and it's incredibly important to have solid players, especially when you're doing 3-piece, because it can sound awful empty if you don't.
Yeah.
Well, we've been accused of having way more people in the band than we do on many occasions over the years. They're looking around for other players, you know. Like, it's just three people up there making that noise, you know. And the way my drummer's voice and my voice, when we, you know, he puts harmonies in behind me, you know, and then I play guitar through a Leslie, an organ speaker, or a simulator sometimes, where it sounds like there's a Hammond organ on stage.
Oh yeah.
With us. So I've got guitar, Hammond organ, bass, drums, and then 2 vocalists. So it sounds like there's like 5 or 6 people up there sometimes.
It's sweet. It's sweet.
Yeah, that's nice. And you know, the drummer and the bass player are the rhythm section and the engine that drives everything.
Yeah.
Without those guys, it'd just be dumb old me up there on stage with the guitar man, you know.
Yeah, not that you're not an incredibly talented guitarist.
Yeah.
You are, but the point being how big of a sound the 3 of you guys get, and I think it's awesome.
It is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you record?
Anywhere. I mean, nowadays everything's, well, I say nowadays, it's been in the past 20 years, things are so portable. You know, someone can show up with a laptop and a interface and a bunch of microphones, and you can record anywhere. The last album was recorded in a small office building up in Warsaw. It looked a lot like
You cut out there for a second. I think we lost him.
Oh no.
I think we lost Mike. You still there?
No.
He's not.
No.
We've lost him. Mike's on the road. So hopefully we'll get him back here in a second. Let me see. There we go. Mike, we got you, brother. How are you?
Gotcha. Sorry about that.
No. We just explained that you're on the road, and we appreciate you giving us. We appreciate you giving us some time.
You asked about where we record. Where did I leave off?
You were talking about how these days you can just show up basically with a computer and a lot of microphones and processors and record anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a simple computer interface and a snake all connects together. I don't know how all that works, but I know that it can be done anywhere, because our album was recorded in an old office building in Warsaw, Indiana, which was a lot like the Fame recording studio in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. So it's a little concrete office building. So we recorded there. I've recorded in old churches, old school buildings. I've recorded in the downstairs floor of my house, you know, with the door shut, and yeah, you can just record just about anywhere.
Yeah, we recorded in the basement of my house for about 10 years.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Just made a bunch of originals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah. And we've got up on the screen right now, we've got Kokomo Honey up.
Okay.
You can buy the compact disc for $15. And this is on bandcamp.com.
All right, you found it.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk a little bit about bandcamp.com.
Gosh, it's been a long time. I used to be on iTunes and Spotify and all those other things. And actually it might still be out there, you know, out there in the internet world. My stuff is still out there. But I asked some young guys, I said, hey, what's new? in the music thing. Where can you get your music out there and still get paid for it and have control over it? And they all told me Bandcamp. So I got on there, and I've just been on there since then. I have total control over everything on there. You can if you buy one of the CDs, you automatically get the free digital download also, and then you get a physical copy in the mail. And I usually throw guitar picks and bumper stickers and extra goodies in there too when people buy stuff off of the site.
Cool.
It's pretty nice to get a payment from Czechoslovakia or Italy or somewhere halfway across the world, and it's pretty cool to mail stuff off to like that.
And having control of your music is pretty cool too. Mel was in a band back in the late 60s, early 70s called Primeval, and their music has been reissued, and they're kind of been branded as like death metal. So they're like, he's now one of the great godfathers of death metal, just because of the way somebody else has rebranded their music.
Primeval. It's a good heavy name.
Yeah, we recorded it at 700 West out there on New Palestine, out there, out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, there was a recording studio out in the middle of the woods in here in Hancock County, and a lot of the Indianapolis people recorded out there.
Oh, that sounds like a
guy
great
named
place.
Mo Whitmore was the.
Yeah, he was the engineer.
He was the engineer and owner, and
we'd be out there. He had the studio in his front room, and his kids are upstairs sleeping. They had to go to school the next day. We're out, we're out there at 2 or 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. But he got some good stuff out of there. J. Michael Henderson recorded out there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny you described the studio and how it's running. It reminds me of guys that I know that build and ride motorcycles, Harleys or whatever. And they, I know a kid that grew up in his bedroom, there was a motorcycle that was being built, It's a bed, and then his baby bed, and there's always a motorcycle being built in his bedroom right next to it.
Mike, we want to ask about the guitar in the Lucky Man video.
Lucky Man video. Which guitar?
It is some kind of silver.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that I found all the pieces and parts and built and put that together. The neck is Washington. It is there's no fret markers on there, so it's black ebony, stainless steel frets, and it's like a triple A grade bird's eye. So if you look at the back, it's just covered with bird's eye specs. The body is I don't know who was manufacturing them for Fender, but it was some metal fabrication plant that was making those specifically for Fender Custom Shop back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, wow.
And they said, you're making these for us only, for Fender. And if one of them ever gets away, and we see one of them turn up on the black market that didn't come from us, we're going to discontinue and we're not going to make them anymore. Well, somebody slipped up and snuck one out of the factory, and Fender found out about it, and they discontinued making them. And it was a very, very limited run.
Oh,
and so I guess there were more than one snuck out, because I found one. Somebody in Hawaii had this body. It's hollow. It's hollow.
That's
aluminum.
crazy.
That's a beautiful guitar.
It's like billet aluminum. It's hollow, and it's 2 pieces that have been welded together, top and bottom, and it's nickel or chrome plated, and so I put all the pieces and parts and built it out, and I would get it out once in a while. I haven't had it out in a while, but it works great on stage, and it works great on film.
Oh,
it
it
almost,
yeah, it
almost looks invisible. Sometimes it almost looks invisible because it reflects everything around it.
Yeah,
it
it's
really
beautiful.
it really pops on it really pops in that video.
I think so, and it's nice. I think that particular scene where I'm using it, it might be snowy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got it up on the screen right now.
And the snow around there, you can reflects all that, everything around it.
And then the trees that are in front of you are reflecting off of the body of the guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's just it's a great visual, great song too, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I wrote that song on my drummer's couch. He was living in Broad Ripple in an apartment, and we were traveling, and we stopped, stayed at his apartment in Broad Ripple before we did a show that night somewhere close by. And I woke up off his couch and had that song in my head. And I've also been listening to lots of Magic Sam at the time too. And Magic Sam, I don't know if you listened to him, but it sounds like it could be one of his songs.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
bouncy chord songs.
It does. We don't want to play the song not because we don't want to play the song, but because YouTube is incredibly copyright crazy at the moment. I don't know if you know about that or not, but anybody that anybody does music content, we want to make sure the video gets out there.
Oh yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. And we don't want to keep you because we know you're on the road. We know you got a lot of stuff going on. But do you have any stories from the road that you want to share?
Oh gosh, there are so many. Every time I tell people who know me, I tell them a story about something, and they add that to the list. And like, but I need to write a book about this. But I think they're probably very similar stories to a lot of people who travel and play music have. But we've got to do things that a lot of people. I don't know anybody that's got to do some of the cool things we have. And even as a kid, I never knew that I'd be doing things like I've done, or even having a phone call with you guys. It's just got to do some really cool stuff over the years. Work with Robert Cray. I could name drop all day.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We've worked with a ton of people that just we learn a lot of lessons. How to treat people, how not to treat people. And really, that it almost doesn't have anything to do with the music. Sometimes it's how people have treated us, whether that's good or bad. We've learned a lot from that, and then it reminds us how we treat people, and how we act and behave on the road, and when we're interacting with other people in general. There's just a lot of great stories, and a lot of horror stories. You're never supposed to meet your heroes. They say that you're never supposed to meet your heroes.
We've all heard that, and
they'll disappoint you. And I opened for Jimmy Vaughn a couple of years ago, and I was very kind of nervous about that because I've heard some stories about him from people that have worked around him, and I'm so glad that it was not true. He was so nice to me.
Nice.
He met my wife, and we got autographs and pictures, and he threw some compliments at me. And I sat on a stool and played an acoustic guitar for half hour, 45 minutes as his opening act. And, that was really refreshing and relieving to meet Jimmy. And he didn't know my connection with Stevie or anything, but I didn't want to bring that up, talk about his brother when I'm talking to him.
Right.
Well, yeah.
But that was really cool. I'm glad that went well, because there have been several that just didn't go so great.
Oh yeah, we both have stories of meeting our heroes and being just incredibly crushed,
Yeah.
and it's great that that's not what happened this time around.
I mean, a lot of people have, they have their circle of people around them, and that's their job, is to keep people away from them, and to hold people back so that they can move on with the show or travel. And so they have their own little security ring. A lot of people do. Gosh, they're one of my favorites and sad stories at the same time is we opened for B.B. King in Indiana. It's his last show, his last performance in Indiana before he passed away.
Wow.
And my band was the opening band for him at this great big theater. My dad was on stage with us, and I had brought, my father-in-law has a B.B. King Lucille 335, one of the Gibson Lucille's, and he asked me if I could get it autographed. I said, probably, yeah, sure. So when I got there, had the Lucille and a silver marker ready to go, and they walked, BB past, and they told me I wasn't supposed to talk to him or ask for autographs, so I wasn't going to bother him. But he didn't know who I was, and here I am standing there as he comes in the building, and I'm holding the guitar like an altar boy holds the big, book of prayers at a Catholic church, and I've got the marker, and he goes by, and his security wouldn't let him stop. They like, nope, we got to get you to the dressing room. We got to go on. And so he didn't know who I was. He didn't sign the guitar. We opened up for him, and then we clear the stage, and BB and his band take the stage. And he says, hey, where's that young Mike guy? Young. Let's get him back up here. Well, I didn't know. I couldn't hear them, and I got a bunch of texts on my phone. Get back out on stage. He's calling for you. And so I opened the door to go back on stage, and the stage hands wouldn't let me out. They said, no, we don't hear anybody calling your name. You can't go back out on stage. I'm like, well, BB's calling me. And I didn't get to go back out on stage. So he did not know who I was. So after the show, they bring BB out, and they leave out the dock, and I'm standing there with the guitar and the silver marker. And he tried to stop, and his guys wouldn't let him stop and talk to me and sign the guitar because they had to hurry up and get on the road to the next place.
Wow.
I'm standing on a loading dock as the bus driver backs out, and he kind of shrugs his shoulders like, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there with just about a tear in my eye, holding this guitar out and the silver marker as they backed away, and like, daggone it. That was a huge missed opportunity, just because I respected the venue's wishes.
Yeah.
And the staff's wishes that I'm not supposed to talk to him or bother him, so I didn't say a peep.
Yeah,
and then,
I'm sure he would have signed it if he could.
Yeah,
yeah. 3 or 4 months later, he was gone.
Yeah, that's what's sad, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on that note, we've had lots of other great stuff. A lot of great things. A lot of funny stories traveling around. Cars breaking down and all that kind of stuff.
We've got something on the screen right now that I found on YouTube. Mike Milligan with Double Trouble doing Crossfire back in 2010. You want to talk about that real quick?
Oh my gosh, real quick. Steam Shovel, the band and I were in Nashville, and we were performing at a place called on Printer's Alley. It's called Bourbon Street Blues and Boogie Bar. We've been there several times over the years, and stayed the night. We did 2 nights in a row. Spent the night. Next day, like on a Saturday morning or afternoon, we went to BB King's Club there in Nashville, and we walked in, and there's music on the speakers overhead, and it sounds fantastic. We go in and sit down and have lunch and find out that that's actually a guy on stage playing his acoustic guitar. But there was no advertisement, nothing. We didn't know who he was. So when he took a break, I went and got him and told him to come over and sit with us and talk. And we invited him to play with us that night at the club. And he did. He came and played with us. And we kept in touch. He contacted me and said, hey, I'm going to do a Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute show down here for the 20th anniversary of Stevie's passing. And I'm putting together, my band's going to be there, he said, and I'm putting together some people. Would you want to come and do it in September? Then it got moved to August to actually the date of Stevie's death. And then he said he's got Reese Winans in his band now. So Stevie's keyboard player Reese Winans is in Bart. The guy's name is Bart Walker, by the way, and Bart Walker is now currently Hank Williams Jr.'s main guitar player. And so he invited me down to do the show, and the show got bigger and bigger. The next thing you know, Double Trouble's actually going to perform the entire show with everybody.
Wow.
And then Reese Winans calls me. That was amazing. And he's like, hey, you're driving down here from Indiana. Can you swing by the airport and pick up Tommy Shannon and Chris Layton from the airport? Like, nobody else wants to do this. So I had a little poster board sign that said Tommy and Chris. And I pulled up and stood there like you see in the movies. I got a sign. It says Tommy and Chris, and through their Tommy's bass and Chris's snare drum in the back, and I'm driving around Nashville. I have no clue where I'm going, by the way. I don't know Nashville at all. And it was the days of MapQuest, so I have like MapQuest printed out on printout, like on computer paper printouts. I have no clue where I'm going, and they just think I'm their driver. And I drive them to the hotel. Before we get to the hotel, they wanted to go get something to eat. And Chris, I can see them in my rearview mirror, just perfectly right now. They're both sitting in the back of my wife's Honda CRV and talking and catching up, and I'm driving around, trying not to look lost. And they said, hey, let's go get something to eat. Let's go to, you got any meat and threes around here? And I said, meat and three? I thought that was some sort of like rock and roll terminology that I just wasn't hip onto yet. It's like certain levels of fame, you learn these new jargon. No. He's like, no, man, meat and three, a meat and three sides, like a cafeteria type of place. Because that's what
a meat and three.
A meat and three. You get a meat and three sides at like a MCL cafeteria type place. I said, and they thought I was from Nashville, and everybody in Nashville knows what a meat and three is. Anyone in Louisville and north of Louisville doesn't know, or typically doesn't know what meat and three is. So it's a Nashville and South kind of thing, which I learned it that day. That's what I learned that day. So yeah, I drove them to dinner, and then we got to rehearsals and dropped them off, and they didn't realize that I was going to be playing guitar and singing with them. Because they had Bonnie Raitt's guitar player was there. One of the guys from the Allman Brothers, Jack Pearson, was there. All these guys got up and they got to play guitar and sing with them and do Stevie's tunes. And then when they called my name for the rehearsals, they're, hey, Mike, get Mike Milligan up here. And Chris and Tommy looked at each other. Mike, but then that's our driver. So that was pretty cool.
So they've got a story now from this as well. That I'm sure they're telling about how this dude just drives us around, and all of a sudden he gets up and he's killing it on the stage, fronting our band.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was. We had rehearsals at a rehearsals complex, and we just kind of ran through the songs real quickly. Oh yeah, okay, this guy, he knows what he's doing. He's got the song. He knows it like we know it. So
cool.
It was really cool.
It was awesome, man.
On the way home, so I drove down there in the morning to pick them up from the airport. We did the rehearsals and dinner, and then we had the show. We had the show, and then after the show, my guys were with me. So my band they drove down separately, but they drove down to be with me and experience the whole thing. We all packed up and left at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Got to Indianapolis around noon, and we had like a 1 o'clock in the afternoon performance at the Arts Garden. And but on the drive to Indianapolis from Nashville, I get a phone call from one of Stevie Ray's closest best friends, and he wanted to know how the show went because he had heard about it, and he and I have communicated over the years. His name's Cutter Brandenburg, and he was the guy that drove Stevie around Dallas when he was a teenager at all the guitar shops. And it was one of Stevie's first tour managers and roadies. And he called me. He's like, "You want to know how everything went?" It was a really cool conversation. So those kinds of stories.
That's what we want to hear, man. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear the stuff that they're not going to hear otherwise.
I mean, to me, that stuff, I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what happened.
Oh,
and I've got a bunch bunch of stories like that. It's just stuff that happened, but I still sit back and go, wow, that really happened to some goofy guy from Kokomo.
We both do the same thing, brother. We both talk and go, can you imagine we actually did these things?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we actually
I was
met
on
these
the road.
people.
I was on the road in the 70s.
Yeah, Mel got stuck in South Carolina. Somebody stole everything and basically ended their tour that day, and they couldn't get back to Indianapolis. And so there's there's
Wow.
horror stories and then fabulous stories.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Okay, we don't want to keep you too long, man, because like we said, we know you're on the road. One final thing. You're going to be playing at the House of Blues in Chicago. Talk about that coming up.
Yeah, that's August 22nd, the House of Blues Chicago. And the next night we are in North Central Illinois at the Starved Rock State Park.
Oh,
yeah.
Starved Rock State Park is what's called. It's in Utica. It's out on a veranda overlooking the Vermilion River. It's just a really nice place. We're out on a deck.
Yeah.
And we're entertaining the people that come through there and stay at the park. And we have acquired a lot of fans in that area and Chicago that over the years they come and see us and hang out. And it's a good time. I think we've been doing House of Blues in Chicago for about 17 years. And one time we were there about every other month for a long time. We were there quite a bit. COVID shot a lot of things down and changed a lot of business plans. We changed our things around too. We stopped doing a lot of certain gigs. We learned to say no to some things and sticking to mostly like theaters and festivals and stuff like that.
All right, man. Well, we greatly appreciate your time, and hopefully you'll come back on and we'll talk some more, because I know you got tons more stories.
Hey, I appreciate you guys even being interested in talking to me and hearing some stuff and promoting the music and everyone else's music you guys are promoting and
Thank
all
you.
that. I appreciate it.
We're trying to preserve Indiana rockin',
and live music.
And we want to promote live music because we do not want to see it die. Plain and simple.
I wish you were able to talk to my dad. He passed away 2 years ago, and he had some better stories than mine. He toured with the Drifters when I was a little boy, and so my brother and I, remember all that stuff from being a little kid and all my dad's bands and travel. And so we grew up on the road practically traveling with my dad and whatever band he might be working with. So he had some great stories, and I know a lot of them too. I'd love to share some of those sometime with you.
Well, we hope you'll come back on, and we are trying to put together a jam. We're trying to put together the Indiana Rocks Unofficial Hall of Fame Jam.
Cool.
We want to get as many players together as we possibly can and especially celebrate the OGs. The original guitarists, the original gangsters of rock music in Indiana. While we're all still here,
It goes fast. I mean, Gene Deere was a friend of mine. I can't believe he's gone. Governor Davis was one of my very close friends. I can't believe Gov is gone. My father's gone. We're just Rick Bennett's gone.
Rick Bennett's gone. Toby Myers is gone.
Dave Bennett.
All those guys. Man,
Dave
those guys
Bennett.
just stayed in my house.
Yeah.
Roadmaster and my dad were really good friends. Steve McNally was one of my dad's best friends growing up. And
good dude.
I didn't think that I was going to be one of the old guys, and here I am. All of a sudden, poof, I'm one of the old guys.
Yeah, well, yeah. And we're going to celebrate all of us. So if we do this jam, we're going to reach out to you, and hopefully if you're available, you and Steam Shovel will come and do some tunes.
Well, if I'm not available, I'll make myself available.
Well, we appreciate that, man. We're working with some people, and we're going to try to get this together and raise some money for some worthwhile cause too.
That would be a great time.
All right. Thank you, man.
Hey, thanks, Indiana Rocks.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, brother.
All right. See you guys later.
See you later. Man. The one and only Melvis. There he is. What a great interview.
That was a great interview.
You know, we've
Good
been blessed.
dude.
Yeah, we've been blessed to have great people on. You know, and hopefully it continues. And I really hope we can put this jam together. You know,
I do too. That would
because
be awesome.
yeah, get everybody
Everybody that we can.
everybody that we can. And if you don't like somebody, well, you can play early and they'll play late.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Thank all of you for watching as always. This has been episode 22 of Indiana Rocks. And legendary blues player, singer, songwriter,
Mike Milligan.
And Steam
the
Shovel. Yeah, we can't forget Robert Cook and Sean Milligan.
Yeah.
And if you're unfamiliar with these guys, you can check them out on YouTube, but you need to see them live because they really do put out a ton of sound for a 3-piece act, just like Rods and Codes does.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are some
differences between them.
Oh yeah,
sound,
but I'm talking about the amount of sound. And it doesn't sound empty for 3-piece. It's real easy to sound empty 3-piece.
Oh, I know.
You know,
that was a big thing for Led Zeppelin.
It was when they played live. Yeah,
they were really empty on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because they got 7 overdubs in the studio, and then you get out and playing live. And this was before loopers.
Yeah,
they played. It wasn't like Jimmy Page could step on the looper and have the rhythm,
these harmony guitars going in the background.
Yeah, like they can now. But
yeah.
All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
Not that I can think of.
All right. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share, leave us a comment. And if you are a musician, no matter when you played, especially if you're playing now, we want to hear your stories and reach out to us. To be honest with you, we're booked for probably a month, maybe a month and a half, thankfully, because we got people that want to tell stories that need their stories told. And that doesn't mean that we're not planning on stopping this.
Oh no.
We're just kind of getting it going.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch of episodes coming up, and one of them could be you.
Yeah.
Reach out to us, Mel Cup on Facebook, best way to get a hold of him. American Doofus, AmericanDufus @gmail is how to directly get a hold of me. If you want to help support the show, you can always Cash App American Doofus, $AmericanDufus, or reach out for a PayPal link. And again, until next time.
Yep.
Excellent episode as always. Hey. Thank you all for watching. We love you all. It's a dark world.
Be a light.